Right. So here's what we're gonna do today. Actually, can you hear me? Perfect. Okay, that read it out. But so here's the plan. We're gonna try out Svelte. I don't know how to pronounce it, but we're gonna try out this thing, which I have never ever used before. So this should be fun. We're gonna try to build a Marvel movie timeline thingy where you get to rank movies by when they happened or connect them into a timeline. I don't know yet. And we're gonna try doing it with Svelte because I wanna try it out and see what all the fuss is about. And let's see. How do you start a Svelte or whatever project? So it says you're supposed to write less code, there's no virtual DOM, and it becomes truly reactive. And I guess as a cybernetically enhanced web apps. Wow. So the core idea of Svelte, as far as I know, let me make my music a little quieter. I feel like I'm yelling a lot. Okay. So the core idea of Svelte, as far as I understand it, is that it's a JavaScript framework that compiles itself away and doesn't do anything at runtime, which gives you faster, smaller apps. Faster, smaller apps, and it's supposed to, I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea. Hey Fuzzy Buddy, how are you doing today? So we're gonna start with the Quickstart guide because that seems like the best approach. So it's a new kind of framework, doesn't import itself. So there's no imports, no anything. We can use the Svelte REPL. It's the easiest way to begin. At some point we'll outgrow the REPL, click the download button to save, blah. Open a terminal window, use digit. What the hell is a digit? When you download from the REPL, you're getting a customized version of the template repo. You can skip messing around with zip files by using digit. This will create... Okay, what is the Svelte? Okay, we don't want to be doing it here because this is silly. We're gonna build an actual project that we can deploy. So I'm gonna go back. And we're gonna... Okay, we can try this thing. npx. Do I have npx? Okay, so cd documents random coding. Wonderful. And we're going to say npx digit svelte.js/template. And we're gonna call it Svelte Marvel Timeline. Marvel Movie Timeline. Okay, so that just worked. Awesome. I had no idea. Okay, username for github.com, password for swissgithub.com. That seems weird. What is my password? Could not find commit hash for master. Okay, so let me check my LastPass. See, I almost said my password out loud. That's one of the tricky things when it comes to live coding, is knowing when to and when not to say what you're typing. But let's see if I know my password for GitHub, and we're gonna try that again. By the way, if you can't see what I'm typing or what I'm doing, tell me and I'm going to zoom in. I know some people watch these live streams on very small screens where it can be particularly hard to see what I'm doing. Oh, god damn it, why do I have such a complicated password? Okay, let's try that again. So for some reason it needs my GitHub username and password, and luckily I have it saved in what is this? LastPass. So I have it in LastPass, which means I don't have to know it, but it also makes it harder to type because why does it not work? Oh, it doesn't work because I'm mistyping this shit. So this needs to say template, not tempelt. Wow, 14 viewers. Cool. Okay, so we have the Svelte Marvel movie timeline. Let me zoom this one in. This one probably isn't very visible. CD Svelte Marvel movie timeline, and I'm going to run yarn install because I prefer yarn to npm. Okay, that installed a bunch of stuff, and then we can say yarn dev zoom in. Okay, does this make it better, Matrost? it's kind of taking up a lot of space on my screen, so that's makes it hard for me to see. The hell, bird? What happened? It's just the sun. The sun came out. Okay, then we go to localhost 5000. Yay, and we have a Hello World Svelte app. Cool. This creates a new project. Once you've tinkered a bit and understood how everything fits together, you can fork Svelte template and make our own template. And that's supposed to be it. You're not restricted to using rollup. There are integrations for Browserify and others, but we don't really, it seems like we don't have to use any of those. Let's see what got created. So I'm gonna go open the project, random coding, Svelte Marvel movie timeline. Cool, so we have package JSON. Right, restream, click-through mode. Okay, so these are, go away. Roll up, okay, Svelte, so it installed a bunch of things. Svelte 3.0, have a bunch of node modules as usual. Public, ooh, look at that, there's Polka in here. What's that? Okay, I don't know what I saw. So node modules in the public directory we have. I'm assuming this is not the zoomed in. What was I gonna say? This is. Let me make this a bit bigger as well. Okay. Now it's getting really difficult for me to work, but hopefully you can see it better. So public, I'm assuming, is where the compiled code goes. Yeah, it does. And in source we have main.js, which looks like a normal JavaScript project that instantiates a new app, takes over the entire document body, and props. Okay, so these are props for our app. That's cool. And then app.svelte has okay, let me install a Svelte extension. Svelte language support. Cool, that's useful. Installing, great. So now I have, okay, now we have Svelte support in my, how do I make this go away? Okay, so I now have Svelte support in VS Code. So, okay, script exports let name, and then we can render name. Cool. So this looks a lot like Vue, to me at least. Okay, so Svelte is kind of Vue-ish. That's interesting. Then what can we say? Trigger efficient granular updates by assigning to local variables. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna... Cool. Okay, so I'm gonna try just this tutorial part first so we can see how it works. And we're going to say, let's see, let count equals 0. Function handle click does count plus equals 1. Okay. And then I'm going to have a button. So button on click equals handle click. Cool. And we say click count, and if okay, so if count is 1, then we render time, otherwise we render times. Okay, and it automatically rewrote it, and now I can count this. That's neat. Let's see what's actually running in production. What does the actual code look like? So sources, oh wow, this is okay. So this whole thing is okay. Bundle.js looks like, let me zoom this in. So bundle.js is our compiled code, which is neat. So we create a big function that does a bunch of stuff. So this is where the whole Svelte doesn't have any overhead part is bullshit, obviously, because somewhere something still has to perform the framework stuff. Even if it's not a library that you import at runtime, it still needs to be somewhere, because somebody needs to write all of that code that makes your life easier and that makes your stuff work. So it looks like all of that is here, bundled into your bundle. And then our function Should be in here somewhere. So this is the app, class app. Have you seen Avengers Endgame? Yes, I have in fact seen Avengers Endgame. Okay, so I'm not. We can skip this for now. Let's see what we can, how we can make a Marvel movie timeline then. So everything looks like is automatically. That's neat. API, that looks useful. Temporary node, this document is okay. What does the tutorial say? Introduction, blah. So we're gonna have components. In Svelte, an application is composed from one or more components. A component is a reusable, self-contained block of code that encapsulates everything. Okay, so we're gonna be playing with that a little later. Now let's start with, what can we start with? We want to render a bunch of components. Let's start with a list of Marvel movies. That seems like something we can do. So I'm gonna say here const Marvel movies equals, and we're gonna have, let's see. Hey Candy Cane, how are you doing today? So Marvel movie timeline. This seems like a watch the Marvel movies in order. Okay, yeah. AMC theaters. Go away. So Captain America, the first Avenger. Oh, so this is the timeline as it. So there's a movie timeline, and then there's a timeline of how the movies came out. Which timeline? What do you think? Should we use the timeline in the universe, or the timeline? So the story timeline or how they came out timeline? What do you think? What should we do? Timeline in the universe. Okay, we can do that. So I'm gonna do. Oh, so the cool thing here is that there's no template. We're just writing stuff. So I'm gonna say H1 Marvel movie timeline. P borrowed from AMC theaters because I'm not. Borrowed from AMC movie theaters. So we can say, we can make this into a link, I guess. So just, giving credit where credit is due, or whatever, however you pronounce that. Cool. Marvel movie timeline, details borrowed from blah, and let's make this a small word. Is there a Captain Slovenia in Slovenia? No, there is not actually. So we're gonna have Marvel movies, and they're going to be in an array, and each movie is going to have a title, and then it's going to have year out, which is going to be a year. So, and what else? Title, description. We can take the description from here, and it's going to have a thumbnail or an image. Let's call it just an image. Can I import images? That would be cool. Probably can, but I'm lazy, so I'm gonna steal them from here. Okay, so we're gonna have how many movies? 22 movies. God damn, Marvel, you really went all out. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. and this is getting really huge, so I'm gonna move it to a separate script. Import Marvel movies from /marvelmovies.js. Right? So I'm pasting that, and we're gonna say export default as per this thing. Cool. Source, we said marvelmovies.js. Okay, and now we go through and we're just collecting data now, so this is not going to be that interesting, but you know, you gotta get the data somewhere. Okay, description, copy image address, year out is 2011. Then we have Captain Marvel. The description is this thing. Image, copy image address. Our copy image address 2019. Then we have Iron Man. This is the best one that ever came out. 2008. Copy image address and the description, bam. Then we have Iron Man 2, which was also a really good movie. Description, copy image address, year out was 2010. The Incredible Hulk. I don't think I actually saw this one, to be honest, or although maybe I did. 2008, copy image address, nope. Okay. Hey Ridari, how are you doing today? Then we have Thor. This was a great movie, 2011. Thor introduces viewers to the Asgard, blah blah blah. Copy image address. Then we have the Avengers. This one was kinda lame. Avengers. Description. Copy image address. Year out was 2012. Thor: The Dark World. I honestly don't think I saw this one. Wow. There are so many more Marvel movies than I ever thought there were. It's pretty crazy. Copy image address. We get the whole thing into the description. So does anyone know that now that Avengers Endgame came out, are they still gonna make more Marvel movies, or is that it? Was that like literally the last movie? Hey today, how are you doing today? So image, continuing the cosmic focus, Guardians of the Galaxy. I actually really like this one. Guardians of the Galaxy was a great movie. So was Guardian of the Galaxy 2. They were both amazing. Yeah, but so the reason I'm wondering whether they're whether they're gonna keep making them is that Stan Lee died, right? And one of the copyright things that Stan Lee had in his, so when Stan Lee created the copyright for Marvel, he added a clause that any movie adaptations have to have a what's it called, a cameo from him. And I believe that was so that he would always be involved with the production and had to be consulted so that he could ensure that things were done properly, right? So does that mean that now that Stan Lee is no more, nobody can have the copyright to create Marvel movies? Because it's not like they can have him as a cameo, you know? He cannot do his mandatory Stan Lee scenes, so how can they get copyright to do these movies? Marvel was bought by Disney, sure, but I'm pretty sure the copyright still stands. So yeah, that's something I'm curious about. 2015, Age of Ultron. I think I saw this one. This one was okay. Oh, why is this always so tedious, getting the data to do your thing? Ant-Man. This one was less great, although I like the idea of the character. Dude, stop biting me. 2015. I wonder if there's any A-list actors left who haven't yet been in a Marvel movie. It seems like they've pretty much ate the entire industry, didn't they? Blah. Sokovia arc. That was a good one. Get a little Slavs in there into the Marvel universe. I appreciated that. And this was probably like the first time that I saw Slavs in a movie where we weren't the bad guys. That felt pretty cool. 2018. Like, has anyone ever noticed? I don't know if people pay attention to those things, but have you ever noticed that if you're a Slavic person in a movie, you can only be a janitor or a mafia boss or like a mafia member. There's no in between. You either are somehow involved with the mafia or you are a cleaning lady or guy. And there is no other options for a Slav in a movie, which always felt kind of shitty when you think about it. Doctor Strange. I guess there's another archetype for a movie Slav, is that you're a super smart computer genius, but you're using your computer genius smarts to hack the US government or hack something else and get illegal access into systems. So, you know, kind of a backhanded compliment there when you think about it. Hi Kiwi, what do you want? Doctor Strange. Thor Ragnarok was actually a good movie, I think. Ant-Man and the Wasp. I did not see that one, and it looks like I miscounted. God damn it. Okay. Copy image address. Okay, 2018. What did you say? Ant-Man and the Wasp. Okay. And then Avengers Infinity War. Did not see this one. Seems kind of lame. Is anyone on this stream who saw the entire Have I Ever Been Hacked? Not that I know of, although it has probably happened in a way that I don't. I'm very happy to hear that today. That was kind of the point of that blog post last week, was to show people that they can and probably should change their entire mindset about how they think of things. Okay, so we got our list of Marvel movies, and this is my Svelte app. Where do we define the title? Let's do it here. Marvel movie timeline. Marvel movie timeline built with Svelte. Okay. How could you not know that you were hacked? So, think about it. If you are a good hacker, what do you want to do when you hack into somebody's system? Do you want them to know? Do you want to announce your presence? Or do you want to just casually steal information or access or whatever you want without them knowing? Which would you say is the better approach? I personally think that the best way to do it is to unterminated string constant in Marvel Movies JS on line 41. Okay, now will you work? prettier, come on. Title The Avengers, American Soil. I fixed that. Let's restart dev. Command failed. Year out on line 61. Oh wow. So it's not that I miscounted when I was copy pasting stuff. I just because I'm so zoomed into VS Code, I scrolled past a bunch of things without even realizing. Okay. So now that we have the Marvel movies, we're going to have an index that's telling us when we are at the current movie. So, and then we're going to build like a little scroller. So we're going to say let index equals 0. And here, okay, how do we make, now this looks like something, okay, so we're going to have a function called, how did we say we make component element bindings. We had an on-click runtime. Aha, there is definitely a runtime, I knew it. Okay, let's go back to here and see how do we, okay, so we're gonna have a function to go next. So function next movie, which, okay, says index becomes index plus 1, and we're going to mod that by Marvel movies dot length. Yeah, length, and we're going to say function prev movie, which is going to be index equals index minus 1, and if index is less than 0, then index becomes Marvel movies dot length minus 1, right? Okay, so we now have our, well, candy cane, yes, it depends on the type of hack as well. If you're being hacked by if somebody's hacking you to change your website, yes, you can, but that's like, yeah, you will notice that, but that's also kind of a kiddie script kiddie kind of hack where it's just somebody being mischievous. A much more important type of hacking is when somebody hacks you in a way to like steal your user's information or whatever. So we're going to have a button on click. Is that how it works? On click, yeah, equals prev movie, and this is going to be, it's just gonna say let's use an emoji because emojis are easier to use. Bam. And then we have button on click equals next movie, and click right. So we now have movies, and here I'm going to just render like the title of the current movie, and then we're gonna go from there. Current movie is, let's see, can I just do that? Okay, we want to make this a paragraph, and then afterwards we're gonna turn it into a Svelte component because I think that's going to be the right approach. So we have the current movie, which says what? Marvel movies of index dot title. Let's see if that works. Okay, cool. So we got that. That works. That's pretty cool. Wonderful. Okay. So that was, honestly, that was almost easier than doing it with React. I like that. Okay. Now let's see about making a component for a cybernetically enhanced thing. So custom transitions, shape.js. Ooh, neat. That is very neat. Okay. So we're gonna play with that later. First, I wanna see how do we create examples. That's how I like to learn. Introduction, reactivity, nested components, styling, HTML tags, reactive declarations, reactive statements, props, logic, keyed each blocks, events. Okay, declaring props. Import nested from nested svelte. Ah, very nice. Okay. If I like quick and easy, I should try Vue. Nah. I honestly just don't like the Vue template syntax, and even this stuff kind of bothers me, but it's okay because it's, I don't know. I'm just trying it out. I personally still think React is better, but but it's pretty cool how quickly you can get simple stuff working with Vue or Svelte. Okay, let's make a new component. We're going to say import movie from /movie.svelte, and then we can render it here as movie, and we're going to say which movie it is as, can we just say props? Can we, export let answer. Oh, that's interesting. I see what's going on there. Okay, so spread props, that's what I want. Wonderful. Okay, so we're gonna give it a spread of Marvel movies of index. So that's going to be the movie that we are rendering. So we make a new file and we save it as movie.svelte. Cool. And then in our script we say, what do we say? Okay, we just export what we want. Cool. Okay, so I like this. This is already so much better than Vue. We say title, export let title, export let, so title, description, image. Yeah, so Svelte is another framework, and it's different than both Vue and React, but it has some really, really cool ideas. So we have title, description, image, and year out as our things. So export let title, then we said image, and export let year out. Hey Magdi, how are you doing today? Long time no see. So for our movie, we're going to say this is an H2, which renders the title, and then we have a description in a paragraph, and we can here say, let's do image source image. Does it need an alt? Should have an alt attribute. Okay. Title. What if title movie thumbnail, or just title movie thumbnail? I'm doing pretty well, Magdi. It's I'm trying out Svelte, and I did something wrong. Cool. What kind of product were you working on? ls source movie Svelte, so yarn dev. It looks like when we make a new Svelte file, we have to restart the environment. Cool. Okay, so we got this. And now I can click next, and it just works. That's amazing. Why is it still saying current movie? Because this is still here. Okay. Cool. So this is neat. Okay. Very nice. I am enjoying this. This is cool. Okay, so we got this. We have our basic app configured. Let me see. I'm gonna git status, git init, git status. I'm going to just commit whatever I have so far. Git add dot, git commit -a-m. Whoa, Puppeteer. So Fuzzy Buddy asks a random question of how large companies work together with multiple people on the same project and there's no conflict. So usually the way you do it is that you split large projects into sub-projects. So everybody just works on a particular feature, and that small feature is usually isolated from the rest of the project, so that when you're committing that feature to master, it usually works. There can be still conflicts, but the usual idea is that you resolve those conflicts before you commit code to master. So before you merge your branch, you resolve all conflicts with master. Okay, so we have a component and we have all of this stuff. Now what's the other thing we need to do? Listing movies and paging through. Cool, we got that part done. Now let's see. We should put all of this into a CSS grid, shouldn't we? Ooh. Okay, I do not. God damn it, why? Okay, so I don't like that part. Okay, let's add some styling to this, and then we're gonna make it more interesting and try the other stuff. How do because I don't know how to make my own grids, I'm going to use layout it, which can do it for you, and I love that. So we have a grid generator. We're gonna say that we need do we need 3 rows or do we need 2 rows? We need 1 row actually, and we need 3 columns, and we want it to look like this. Okay, actually let's add another row that's going to be for our header, and another row for our footer, like that. Hi Kiwi. So I built, this is my grid layout. I'm gonna get the code and we're gonna do it like this. So we're going to say, I'm going to take all of this, bam, and then can you deploy GraphQL Express and Next.js applications in the same VPS? Yes, I believe you can. I personally do not really use VPSs that much, so that's going to be a hard question for me to answer, but I'm pretty sure that you can in fact do that. Because that's weird. Is anyone else seeing this? What the fuck is going on? Okay, my VS Code got corrupted. Did somebody hack me? Was I talking too much shit earlier about hackers? And yeah, okay, app Svelte. Cool, so that's our thingy. Then we need our rows, I think. So div, that's the header, and okay, something got confused and nothing works anymore. Very nice. Okay, then we have a div for this stuff and a div for this stuff. Okay, so something is terribly wrong with my thing. Okay, so I have the grid generator. So how do I actually use it? Grid template areas to position if disabled line numbers will be used. How do I use grid template areas? Okay, so okay, that's cool, but how do I actually use that? Okay, how do I use grid areas? Grid area, wonderful. Okay, so we have grid template areas here. I am using pure Svelte right now, Matteo. And apparently whatever I just started doing is corrupting my VS Code every couple of seconds, which is super exciting. I've never had that happen before. But it looks like... Yeah, I just realized that. So we have a visual schema here. Here we go. Oh, so my arrow keys don't work anymore in VS Code. That's great. So we have template areas. We don't care about that one. Then we have header. Or actually, let's just... So we say header 1, header 2, header 3. Emacs cursor right not found. Yeah, why are you using Emacs commands to go left and right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the Svelte plugin that's causing issues, but it's very frustrating. Body 1, body 2, body 3. And then we have footer 1, footer 2, footer 3. Okay, and now grid areas, and then we just use them. So we're going to say this has a style of... oh, come on. This is gonna be annoying. So I don't have arrow keys. Yay. So we're gonna say... What's it called? Grid area. Yeah. So this is grid area. I used to use Emacs. I never quite got into Vim. I honestly only use Vim when I'm editing stuff via SSH on servers. Okay, then we have... Let's see what happens if I say style. Grid area body 1, and then this is a div that says style grid area body 2. God damn it. And div, and here we have a... Let's see, button, which has a style of grid area B3, like that. I can't see what I'm typing. Your conclusion was waited out. Yeah. I mean, I think what we're seeing right now is that Svelte has come a long way since it was first introduced, and it's looking pretty good actually, so far at least. Okay, let's see. Why is that not doing the thing? We have body 1, blah blah blah, F1, F2, F3. Let's try restarting yarn dev and see what's wrong. What did I get wrong? Style grid area, right. That yarn dev, wonderful, cool. Okay, so we have our footer, we have our thing, and we have the center, and then we can click around. Wonderful. Okay, that works pretty well. Now let's make it... Yes, thank you, Matteo. Let's make this footer, let's make it smaller, class equals. Actually, let's just render it as a footer. Let's see if that works. So footer, I'm going to take all of this out, and we're going to import footer from /footer.svelte, and let's see what happens. We make a new file, script, and I guess we don't actually need that. So we're going to paste this here, and we're going to say footer.svelte. So this is our footer. It's going to have a new everything. Okay, so we say style, and we say that our dot footer is grid area f2, font size 0.8 ems, and then we say here div class equals footer and div, and why is this not fixing the... Yes, Evo, that this is my completely first time using Svelte, or Svelte, or however it's pronounced, and I think it's really exciting. Or really, I'm curious what it feels like. Right. So grid container. For some reason, my prettier has stopped working correctly, at least. So I do need a new end div here. Okay, let me quit VS Code and try again, because this shit is really acting weird. Please, syntax, please change the... So this is annoying, because if it's not, why isn't it formatting correctly? Close an element that was not open. Yes, I don't believe you. Div, button, div, end div. Actually, let's do it this way. So button, footer, and div. Come on, you can do this. And let's change this to be header, like that. Oh, right. I forgot to keep closing my things. That was the problem. And we're going to import header from /header.svelte, and we're going to make a new header which pastes this and says style div is a grid area h2, and we're going to save this as header.svelte. Yeah, thank you, Matteo. I totally forgot that I have to close footer, close Svelte components. So this is now gonna break, or at least it's supposed to. No, waiting for changes. Okay, so that works. Actually, I'm not sure it does work, but we have our footer. Let's go back to our footer. So we have footer svelte div class footer. There we go. Wonderful. So that broke. Now let's see about header dot. Actually, it's the movie that broke, I think. So we have our movie here, and we have to say that this is a div. Let's call it class equals main. And we got all of that. Great. The artifacts are back. So you can see that on the stream, right? When weird characters are showing up on my VS Code. So style, we say grid area is no. So we have dot main. What? Great. So grid area called what are we saying this is going to be called? We said grid area body 2. Great. So that fixed the layouting. You can now go through the movies here. So that's cool. One thing you may do, something pretty important just happened that you may have missed. Here in the header, we defined that all divs have the grid area h2, but it only affected this particular div, not all of them, which means that everything is automatically scoped to, to the thing. Everything is all the CSS is scoped to your component automatically, which seems pretty useful. Now let's go into the movie part and let's see about making images a little smaller. Come on, VS Code. You're right, I can remove the style attribute. So back in movie. So we want images to have a max width. What should we say the max width is? Max width. Let's go with 640 pixels. That seems reasonable. And let's center them. Margin 0 auto. No. Display block. There we go. And actually, do we want everything to be centered? No. We do want the title to be centered though. So we say H2. What? I sometimes don't understand why VS Code guesses what to autocorrect and just does something completely random. So we want this to be what should we say this is going to be? Just yeah. How do I center text in CSS again? I always forget that. CSS center text. Text align, yes. Text align center. Cool. So we got that, and we have this stuff. That's great. Okay. Now the problem is that all of this is kind of jumping up and down, which I don't like, which means we need to wrap things in a div. So we're going to say this is, let's keep the images normal, and we're going to create a subgrid, aren't we, Kiwi? So we're gonna go back here and create a new grid. Grid layout it, and we're going to have a grid that is three rows and doesn't need anything more. Do we just need one column? Yeah. Okay. So this is going to be the title, then image, and then the rest. Okay. So we're saying then yeah. Main is also a display grid, and then we have grid areas, which are, when am I starting my React course? So I'm starting on Tuesday, and it's going to be running for probably like 10 sessions, maybe 20 sessions. We'll see how long it goes. I'm still road mapping everything, but we're starting on Tuesday, and the schedule already went out to everyone who purchased. Hi, Kiwi. Okay, so we got the template areas. So we're going to say title, thumbnail, and description. Right? Right. So then this is grid area title. Then images are grid area thumbnail, and description is, oh come on, grid area description. Oh, and this is a paragraph actually. Okie doke, so that didn't quite work. Let's make it different. Actually no, it did. So we want 01 first, then the image should have a inscription still possible. What do you mean by that, Mehdi? This, let's say, is 500 pixels. Does that work? 300 pixels. Ah, it does work. Okay, so that's 500 pixels, and then the rest. So image height is 100%. Cool. And margin margin 0 auto display block. Wonderful. Okay, and then P should have some. We should now see. Okay, so they do need a max width as well. Max width of 640 pixels, and now they are wonderful. So everything is now sticking to the same size, which is great, but we can bring this down a little bit and say that it's 400 pixels. There we go. Awesome. Now, how do we vertically center this? Yeah, okay, so that works. Now, let's give some padding to this thing. Padding, let's say 1 EM to the left and right, so 0, 1 EM. Wonderful. Okay, so we got this. And the footer isn't quite sticking to the footer part, but whatever. Built by Swizzets to try out Svelte. Okay, so we need these both to be in line. I guess I should have used some flex. Let's try that. Display flex. So display flex, and then we want justify content space between. Wonderful. And I'm going to link myself a ref equals https swizzets.com. Parent div display flex justify content center align sign item center. Great idea. I'm assuming you meant that for images. So let's do it for the images themselves. Div, we're gonna give it class equals thumbnail, and we say dot thumbnail becomes, we take grid area thumbnail, and instead of this margin auto, we're going to say display flex justify content center align items center. That. Cool. Okay, nice. Thank you. That was very useful to try out Svelte. And where's my footer? Gotta add some hearts. Always a good idea. God damn it. See, this is why emoji support sucks in a lot of things. Okay, and we're going to link to Svelte as well, a ref. Svelte.dev, right? Svelte.dev. Cool, so we got that. Now, what's the next step we can do? Get status, get at source, get commit -a-m. I ran out of energy drinks, or at least out of my yerba mate tea. What was I gonna do? Git commit, better layout for everything. Okay, so the Svelte parts so far have been that we have a pretty easy way to create functions and actions. There's a relatively easy way to have variables that are all automatically reactive, which I think is pretty cool. So anytime we click previous movie, just updates the value of index, and that does everything. And we have an easy way of using components, and we know how to pass um, how to pass, what was I gonna say? How to pass props into components. So that's cool too. We need to make sure that here in the app, our buttons need to have cursor pointer, because that is actually pretty important. Cursor pointer. Cool, so we got that. Awesome. Okay, so now let's see, what else can we find an excuse to try? I feel like the thing we built was a little too simplistic. But it was a good way to learn the basics. So this is cool. There's modifiers for events. Hi Kiwi. Or modifiers for events. On message, handle message. Ah, okay. Interesting. I have no idea what this does. What is inner? Dispatch. Uh-huh. Okay, so they have some really cool ideas that we weren't able to quite explore. Okay. So this is the thing with trying out new frameworks. When you do something simple like this, which is essentially a glorified counter component, it's pretty easy, but then it gets harder, or at least more of the stuff comes out when you try to build something more complicated. Oh, that's pretty cool. Ah, I lost my camera. Ah. Okay, I should be back now. Hi Kiwi, what do you want? Let's see, how long have I been live coding? So this has now been about a 1 hour stream, which is usually a good place to stop. Spring, this seems cool. Very cool. Transitions. Ooh, okay, let's try adding transitions. So, hi. In and out. Okay, I'm gonna try adding in and out transitions because I think that's cool. So we're gonna try that, and then after that we're going to stop live coding. So let's see. Custom JS, transition events, deferred transitions. Okay, let's just try a simple transition for the movie component. So we're going to say import flies in, fades out. Okay, got it. So we're gonna try the fly transition from Svelte / transition, like that. And then when this fly, how do we do fly in? How do we know if it's currently visible? Bind checked visible, let visible equals true. Okay. Um, Not really sure, but let's see. Yeah, in from bottom out to top. So I think because we're doing scrolling, it makes more sense to go left and right. But actually, let's do it with custom CSS transitions. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so we're gonna have, and let's do import cubic in out from Svelte easing. I'm just assuming that's what it's gonna be called because those are relatively standard ones. Okay, I still don't know how do I know if it's visible or not? I guess when the index changes, or rather we want to bind this on mount and unmount. No. So I don't know how to detect that we are changing logic, props, reactivity, introduction, styling, props, logic, events, DOM events, bindings, lifecycle, on mount, on destroy, before update and after update. Okay, before update and let's see what we can do. Okay, so eventually this should start scrolling, and it does. That's cool. Okay, so we can have before update and after it reacts to unmount. Yeah, but I'm not sure if it's actually unmounting the component, to be honest, because it could be just doing stuff. So let's see before update and after update. So I'm gonna start with those. We're gonna say imports at the top, right? Import before update and after update from Svelte. Hi Kiwi. Then we say before update. I'm gonna fire a. So Magdi asks if joining the React course is still possible. So it's not right now. I already have 80 people who joined, so I think that's enough for the first run, trying it out. And then if I do it again, it's gonna go to my mailing list, and I think I announced it on YouTube as well. So no, the bottom line is that not right now, but there is likely going to be another chance soon. We'll see how it goes. Before update, let's console log hi updating, and then after update, where'd they go? After update, we say hi Kiwi, why are you getting so rowdy? Hi after update. Okay. So I think I already have the key attribute, but let's see what happens. Hi. Basically, I want to see if it's mounting or unmounting the component. It's not. It's just updating the values. So that's gonna make this trickier, because we do need it to mount and unmount the component if we want to make, slidey transitions. So how do we do that? Yeah. How do we do this? Let's see. So before update and after update, that's what we have. And we're not dealing with the whole component that we can slide in and out, which makes this a really difficult problem, doesn't it? I guess we could make it invisible. Okay, so let's try that. we can try it with fading, not with flying. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go here, Marvel Movie Timeline, before update, and I'm going to find transitions, the transition directive. Import fade. So import fade from Svelte / transition, and we say let visible equal true. And then before update, we say visible equals false. And after update, we say visible equals true, right? And then for the whole thing, we're going to say if visible, we say div class transition fade. And then we end if, and let's see. Nice. Totally doesn't work. High after update, so it's not. Let's make it start with false. Yep, nothing is visible. Why is nothing visible? Fades in and out. Let's maybe let's try it just for the thumbnails first. So div class thumbnail, and if, delete this if, and we say transition is fade. Why are enter exit transitions always the hardest? Okay, so before update, visible is supposed to go to false, and then after update, it's supposed to go to true. Let's see, what is it? So console log visible before, and then we say console log visible after, no, just after, and we render visible, let's see, before false, after true, and then it goes back to before. Interesting. Why is it always going back to before? Must be because of the transition. What if we take this out? It's so weird. It's almost like it's taunting me, huh? What if we just say transition fade? What does that do? Nothing. Weird. Hi, Bert. Okay, so this is all weird, and I'm not sure why it's not working, but that's one of the, it's immediately a problem I see with Svelte. This is cool though, but why isn't it working? Try adding a key to the thumbnail. So what do you mean by key? Because they already have a source, that's a key. Okay, maybe what if we move the transition set to the image URL? Okay, I can do that. So let's try that. Key equals image. That's not doing anything. But what I find interesting is that before update is firing after the after update is firing, which is weird. And it doesn't seem to do that when I take out transition fade. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stop here. We have reached a weird part of Svelte where everything being reactive and amazing just gets in the way. And I still don't understand why the after thing is firing earlier. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know if this has a key. I don't know if Svelte understands keys because they're not mentioned anywhere. But this was pretty cool. Ooh, let's try the circle drawer. That's cool. Temperature converter. Cool. Flight booker. Timer. Okay. Okay, cool. So this was fun. It was interesting to see how relatively easy it is to get something simple working in Svelte, but as always, it gets complicated when you try to do in-out transitions, and I think that's something that's just generally hard in any framework that you use. So thanks everyone for watching. I'm gonna stop now, and yeah, this was a fun experiment. I think I'm gonna publish an article about it tomorrow. So if you're interested about my impressions of Svelte, and I'm going to look into more about how it builds and what it builds and so on. But this was a fun experiment. So thanks for watching, and I will see you again sometime soon. Bye.